Hello, my anime-loving friends. This movie isn't just a film, it's like weeks of depression. Initially, I ignored this movie at the suggestion of my friend, but later, I ended up watching it for 1 hour and 48 minutes. So, today, I bring you another heart-touching explanation. At the beginning of the story, we see a large number of people attending the funeral of Sakura Yamauchi. Her final rites are performed on a rainy day. There, everyone is present, her friends, family except for one classmate, who remains at home, staring at the final message she sent him. He's left wondering if she ever saw his reply. The story then shifts to a boy in a library, organizing some books. While he's working, a girl approaches him and offers to help. She begins speaking to him, and the boy asks her to lower her voice since it's a library. He also explains the proper way to arrange the books. The girl responds with a quirky remark, saying, "Do you know what I watched on TV last night? If your liver is bad, you should eat liver. If your stomach is upset, you should eat food for your stomach." Then, with a playful push, she says, "You know, I want to eat your pancreas." The story then jumps to April, the month when the beautiful cherry blossoms bloom. The boy is at school, trying to remove some of the stretch marks on his body. While there, he notices some kids knocking over a diary. He picks it up, starts reading it, and discovers it's a secret diary titled Pancreas and Death. Later, he meets the same girl again. She tells him the diary belongs to her, and she is the author. The title of her book is Living with Dying. In this book, she writes all of her wishes, which she's been doing since she found out about her pancreatic disease. She adds that, in any case, she's going to die soon. The boy tells her not to talk like that, to which the girl responds, "Is that all you'll say about me? At least you should compliment me." The boy walks away, but soon, they cross paths again. This time, the girl is already standing in his path, trying to start another conversation with him. The boy initially tries to ignore her, but soon he begins talking to her. She shares with him her secret, her illness, and tells him that it's something they'll keep between them, not to be shared with anyone else. The boy agrees, saying he won't tell anyone, but adds that there's no one to tell anyway. She then asks him if he doesn't have any friends, and offers to spend the rest of her life with him. The boy refuses, telling her there's no need for that, and she should live her life the way she wants. He leaves, thinking that might be their last meeting. However, the following week, the girl becomes a library assistant alongside him. Slowly, they start talking more. The boy asks her if she plans to spend her entire life in the library, with no other dreams or goals like traveling abroad, for instance. The girl turns the question back to him, asking if he has any wishes he wants to fulfill before he dies. She tells him that she writes all her wishes in the diary, things she wants to do before her time is up. She hopes he'll join her in fulfilling them, saying that he had told her to live life the way she wants, and that's exactly what she's doing. The boy responds that's not what he meant by that. In the next scene, we see them at a hotel. The boy tells her she shouldn't be here alone and should have come with family or friends. She's eating pancreas, which is part of her treatment for her illness. She then asks him why he never talks to anyone in class, and admits she doesn't know much about him. The boy says it's because everyone probably finds him boring. She asks if anyone ever told him that. He replies, "No, but I might be wrong." She tells him that he could be wrong about that, too. He acknowledges, "Yes, but I'm used to overthinking." He then adds, "But what difference does it make if I'm right or wrong?" She then challenges him, asking, "So tell me, what do you think I think of you?" He answers, "Probably that I'm just a boring person, someone who only knows a few of your secrets. Nothing more than that. People aren't interested in me, and I'm not interested in them." The girl retorts, "No, I'm interested in you. Don't think I'm a fool." After having their meal, the two of them exit the restaurant and find themselves on a street where a man is bullying an elderly woman. The man is clearly in the wrong. The girl approaches him and tells him that everyone has seen him make a mistake and demands an apology. When the man refuses to apologize, she kicks him in the shins and runs away. For some reason, watching this scene brings the boy a strange sense of enjoyment. He quickly runs after her, telling her she shouldn't have done that, as it could have put her in danger. Later that evening, at the girl's suggestion, they visit a cafe. She tells him that this is a place everyone should know about, and asks for his phone number. The boy firmly refuses, but the girl, named Sakura Yamauchi, insists, saying, "Come on, just give it to me. We're going to be together, at least until I die." When the boy arrives home, he finds his mom watching TV. As he climbs the stairs, he checks his phone and sees a message from Sakura, saying, "I had a great time today. I hope you'll be with me until I die. Goodbye." The next day, we see both the boy and Sakura with their respective friends, chatting. Their classmates mention that they had seen the two of them together last week. In the classroom, a boy named Takahiro gives Sakura a letter and some of her friends suggest she should date him, as he's good-looking and smart. A little later, we see Sakura and the boy again in the library. She tells him that she wants to visit another place with him. This time, the boy refuses, but after some persistence, she finally convinces him. Once again, they find themselves in a restaurant. The boy teases her, asking if she's trying to make him fat or if she just enjoys eating all the time. He remarks that he always sees her eating. Sakura, noticing a group of girls at another table, asks him if he has no interest in the girls sitting there, or if he's ever had a girlfriend. The boy replies, "If you have one or two good friends in life, it's enough to get by. But honestly, I prefer the imaginary world over reality." The girl now opens up about her past relationship with her ex-boyfriend, explaining that while he was a good friend, he wasn't suited to be her boyfriend. At the restaurant, her friend Kyoko shows up and scolds her for getting involved with the boy, as she doesn't like him at all. Kyoko presses her about their relationship, making the boy uncomfortable. Later, the two of them head to the beach. The boy asks her, "Didn't you tell him about your illness?" Sakura responds, saying that he's too emotional, so she didn't want to share it with him. She brushes off the conversation, but the boy, feeling concerned, gets closer to her and asks, "Are you really going to die?" Sakura answers with a firm yes, absolutely. She explains that he's the only one she can talk to about this. She says that if her friends knew about her illness, they'd react like her parents, overly concerned and emotional. She doesn't want that. He's the only one who treats her normally, despite knowing everything. She admits that's why she wants to be with him and also suggests that he spend less time reading books and more time enjoying life with others. In class, rumors about the two of them dating begin to spread. Following Sakura's suggestion, the boy agrees to go on a trip with her. He asks if she has any places she'd like to visit before she dies. They end up traveling together, taking a train ride. Sakura had lied to her parents, telling them she was going with Kyoko, but in reality, she told them she was traveling with him because it was her final wish. The boy had told his parents he was staying at a friend's house for the night. Sakura asks the boy to write his name in her diary, but he refuses, saying he doesn't want her parents to come to him after she's gone. During the trip, we see them enjoying ramen, taking selfies, and spending quality time together. Later, Sakura reveals that they've been given a single room for the night. She heads to the bathroom to take a shower and asks the boy to fetch her face wash from her bag. The boy goes over to the bag, unzips it, and his eyes widen in surprise at what he sees. After both of them shower, they sit down to drink, as the girl had suggested, and begin playing a game of truth or dare. The boy has never played this game before, but the girl explains the rules to him. She asks him the first question for truth: "Who do you think is the cutest in class?" The boy hesitates, telling her not to ask him such questions, but if he has to choose, he says the girl with the best math skills. Next, the girl asks, "What do you think of me? How do I look?" The boy responds, "Out of all the girls I've seen, you rank pretty high, and in class, you're third." Now, it's the boy's turn to ask a question. He asks her, "Tell me about your childhood, how were you back then?" She replies, "I was always told to stay quiet." Then, the boy asks, "Is there any habit of yours that has stuck with you for a long time and is not so good?" She responds, "Maybe watching anime." Finally, the boy asks, "What's the happiest moment of your life?" She answers, "Maybe meeting you." At the end of the round, the boy comments, "All your questions were pretty boring." After taking a drink, the girl starts to feel dizzy and can't get up. The boy suggests they play 2 more rounds. In the next round, the girl asks the boy a truth or dare question. She dares him to tell her 3 things he likes about her, and for the dare, she challenges him to take her to the bed. The boy chooses the dare and helps her to the bed. She falls asleep soon after. A little while later, the girl wakes up and asks the boy another question. He chooses truth. She asks, if I say that I'm afraid of dying, what would you do? The boy recalls the moment earlier when he saw a bundle of medication in her bag when he went to fetch her face wash. His mind races, and he chooses dare this time. In her dare, the girl says, come and sleep with me. Without further argument, the boy goes over to her and lies down next to her. The next morning, Sakura receives a call from Kyoko, who scolds her for lying. When Kyoko learns that the boy is with her, she scolds him too, warning him that if he hurts her, she will make him pay. Sakura responds, do you hear that? Kyoko is ready to beat you up. The boy replies, that will only happen if I hurt you. Sakura responds, the bed incident should be enough to get Kyoko to come after you. On their way back from the trip, the girl mentions going on another trip, and this time the boy immediately agrees, saying that he had a great time. Once back home, the boy sits alone, feeling empty and doing nothing, realizing that he's been waiting for her call. At school, when Kyoko meets the boy, she scolds him again, saying, do you have any idea how emotional she is? Can you handle that responsibility? The boy, lost in his thoughts about Sakura and the bundle of medicine he saw in her bag, doesn't respond. Kyoko grabs his collar and threatens, don't you dare go near her again. Later, in the library, the boy and Sakura meet again. It's rainy outside, and the girl invites him to her house. She plans to show him her favorite book, and the boy agrees. She tells him the book's title, The Little Prince. The boy already knows about this foreign book, but he's never read it. Once they arrive at her house, they start playing games. After some time, the boy says, it's getting late. Give me the book, I need to go. But the girl dismisses him, saying he's in a hurry. The boy decides that he really needs to go and asks for the book again. As he stands up, the girl comes up behind him, hugs him tightly, and says, before I die, I wanted to be a little mischievous with a boy who isn't even my boyfriend. And guess what? You're the one I'm doing this with. The boy suddenly remembers Kyoko's words, asking if he can handle the emotional burden of being with Sakura. As Sakura gets closer to him, she laughs and says, I was just joking, but you took it way too seriously. In frustration, the boy pushes her, and they both fall onto the bed. Sakura says, come on, what are you doing? Are you serious? The boy tightens his grip on her wrist, and she starts to cry, unable to bear it. Seeing her cry, the boy immediately grabs the book and leaves in a hurry. In the rain, holding an umbrella, he walks alone. On the way, he meets a classmate who asks, what are you doing with a girl like Sakura? The boy replies, our relationship isn't what you think it is. The classmate presses, if it's not, then what is this? You eat together, go on vacations, trips, and now you're even at her house. He continues, calling the boy lazy and lonely, and walks away. The boy tells him, Sakura doesn't like guys who don't understand her. Angered, the classmate punches the boy. By this time, Sakura arrives and sees the blood on his forehead. She scolds the classmate and tells him to leave. The boy realizes that the classmate is her ex-boyfriend, and he blames himself for getting involved. He wonders if he would have been happier if he hadn't met her, thinking that their meeting was just a coincidence. But Sakura responds, I chose that book Living with Dying because I wanted to write about it, and you picked it up because you love reading. What I need from life right now is just your company, even if it's for a little while. The boy doubts that he can do anything for her. Sakura apologizes for what happened, and the boy, soaked from the rain, is brought back to her house. She gives him some new clothes. The scene transitions to show that most of Sakura's wishes have been fulfilled. However, as time passes, Sakura begins to forget that she is slowly fading away from the inside. Her health deteriorates more and more each day. One day, suddenly, Sakura is admitted to the hospital. Despite being happy with the boy by her side, her illness keeps her heart heavy and melancholic. The boy visits her in the hospital, and when he opens the door, he finds her dancing. Startled by his sudden appearance, she feels embarrassed and quickly sits on the bed, trying to act like a patient. She tells him, I'm perfectly fine, it's just that there was a little glitch in my data. What's the plan for next weekend? We should go somewhere together. She also shares that no one knows she's there, and she advises him to stop worrying about what others think. Instead, he should talk to more people and make friends, like with Kyoko. Following the boy's suggestion, they play a game of truth or dare again. The boy asks her, "What does life mean to you?" She answers, "Living means connecting with others, caring for someone, hating someone, and loving someone. If you're alone, you can never truly understand your own existence. This is what life is all about, having relationships with others, and that gives life its meaning. Like right now, you and I are sharing this moment together." Outside the door, Kyoko is standing, possibly listening to their conversation. The boy tells her, "You always teach me how to live life openly. Thank you for everything." They hug each other lovingly. Sakura then adds, "This time, it's different. I'm not joking." Suddenly, Kyoko bursts into the room, and Sakura greets her with a simple hi. The boy leaves, and later, we see Sakura with her mom. Sakura says, "This is for after I'm gone." Her extended stay in the hospital seems strange to the boy, but he doesn't ask about the reason behind it. After about 2 weeks, the boy prepares to meet Sakura again. One night, as requested by her, the boy joins Sakura on the roof. He says, "Look, you're not planning something like suicide, right? If something happens, I'll be the one blamed because of you." Sakura brings him here to show him something. He tells her that she could have seen it after being discharged, but Sakura replies, "No, I needed to see it today." The boy tells her that her behavior has been changing a lot and asks, "Tell me the truth, are you really dying?" Sakura responds, "Yes, I am. One day, we all have to die. And yes, if it's about my pancreas, then it's true." The boy, mustering some courage, grabs her hand and, in a soft but firm voice, says, "I might not show it, but I'm always worried about you." Sakura replies, "So, you want me to not die? Fine, I'll tell you just before I die." As fireworks light up the sky, creating a beautiful and memorable scene for both of them, Sakura had brought him here to show him this moment. The boy finds it beautiful, and Sakura thanks him. He hugs her and expresses his gratitude as colorful fireworks continue to burst in the sky. Later, we see the boy at home, looking at a message on his phone. His mother, noticing, says, "It looks like you've got a girlfriend now. Bring her home." The boy replies, "No, nothing like that." But his mother is happy that at least he seems to have found someone. On the way, the boy runs into his classmate again. The classmate calls him lucky and offers him chewing gum, knowing that he has a habit of chewing gum. The boy usually refuses, but remembering Sakura, he decides to try it, thinking, "Maybe I'll like it." He feels that maybe this will be a change, as he was never interested in such things before. Arriving at a cafe, the boy waits for Sakura and receives a message saying she has been discharged from the hospital. He congratulates her and invites her to the cafe. In her message, Sakura says, "When did you start talking like this? Such nice things, are you sure you're not sick?" The boy replies, "I've always wanted to be like you, to accept and be accepted by each other." The boy waits for her to arrive, feeling excited. He sends her another message, asking, "Tell me, have I become more like you?" As the evening passes, the boy returns home and sits on his couch, scrolling through his messages. Suddenly, a news segment comes on the TV. The next story reports that the high school girl, Sakura Yamauchi, has died in an accident. Upon hearing this, the boy's body starts trembling, and his heart races. The shock is so overwhelming that he can hardly comprehend it. Without saying a word, he stands up and stumbles up the stairs, falling on them as he struggles to process the news. He thinks to himself that he couldn't keep the promise he made to her. She's gone now. The next day, we see Sakura Yamauchi's funeral. Everyone attended, except for the boy. 10 days after her death, the boy finally comes to terms with it and accepts that she's really gone. For the first time in 10 days, he steps out of the house, and his mother hands him a card, telling him to go and say goodbye properly. The boy arrives at Sakura's house, where he speaks to her mother. He tells her that he had known about her illness but had no idea that things would end like this. Sakura had kept her illness a secret from everyone, including her classmates. She even had a diary called Living with Dying. He asks her mother if he can have it. Her mother is surprised and says, "So you were the one she mentioned. I'm glad you came here. I've been waiting for you." Her mother hands him the book Living with Dying and explains that Sakura had written it for him. She had told her that if she passed away, the book should be given to a special person who knew about her illness and the title of the book. She believed that person might be him. Sakura had also mentioned that he might hesitate to attend her funeral, but no matter what, he would eventually come to take the book. The boy takes the book, Living with Dying, and begins to read it. April 22nd. This was the day I finally told someone about my illness. That boy found my notebook and started reading it, so I decided to tell him everything. But he wasn't shocked at all. He was someone who didn't have many friends, so perhaps he kept it all to himself. As he read the book, many memories came rushing back to him. The boy thanks Sakura's mother for the book and, following her suggestion, looks for something in the last pages. He finds a message Sakura had written for him. "Don't worry, I won't write your name, as you wanted. This book is now yours. For all that you've done for me, this is the least I can do." Sakura had also written about his fear of losing her, which is why he had been afraid to make her his girlfriend or even a friend. The boy then sees Sakura's phone, and he notices that his message had already reached her. He asks Sakura's mother for permission to cry, feeling overwhelmed with emotion. Music. He was happy because he knew Sakura needed him, but the truth was, he had lived his life just to meet her. As he leaves Sakura's house, he apologizes to her mother for crying. Her mother reassures him, saying, "You are the special person who gave Sakura something." The boy disagrees, saying, "No, it's me who received something from Sakura." As he walks away, only thoughts of Sakura fill his mind. He remembers the time when she asked for his name on the train. His name was Shiga Haruki, meaning tree of spring, which suited Sakura perfectly. In his memories, we see them together once again. Later, in the same cafe, Yoko arrives after the boy invited her. He shows her the book Living with Dying and explains Sakura's illness. Yoko, shocked, shouts at him, asking why he never told her about it. If she had known, she would have always stayed by Sakura's side. The boy explains that Sakura had kept her illness a secret from everyone in class, and she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Before he could finish his words, Yoko slaps him in frustration. He encourages her to read the book, which she reluctantly does. After reading the book, the girl says, "Why didn't you tell me about this? If you had told me, I would have spent all my time with her, and for that, I can't forgive you." With these words, she begins to leave. The boy follows her out of the cafe, apologizing and asking, "If you can forgive me, would you be willing to be my friend?" The story then shifts to a year after Sakura's death. The boy and the girl visit her grave together. The boy reflects, thinking, "It took me almost a year to change, and because of you, I finally understood the true meaning of life." And so, the movie comes to an end. Friends, how did you like today's movie? Be sure to let me know in the comment box. I'll see you again with a new explanation. Until then, bye bye and sayonara.